Cześć wszystkim z tej strony Astrid, witam was bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku z Mass Effect Andromeda. Jesteśmy sobie na naszym statku, czyli Tempeście. I tak... Szczerze? Chciałabym tu jeszcze sobie pochodzić, bo coś tu jeszcze jest z tego, co widzę. No, ze wskazaniem na coś. Aha, są kapsuły ratunkowe z tego, co widzę. Po drugiej stronie? Kolejna? Szafka uzbrojenia widzę. Stacja uzbrojenia może być. Aha, tu są drzwi. To mnie w sumie zastanawia, czy trzeba korzystać z drzwi, czy automatycznie mnie wyrzuci. W pewnym momencie tutaj są zablokowane. Karabiny szturmowe. Czy ja mam coś jeszcze lepszego? Przewodnik. Wyposażenie. No dobra, rozumiem, ale ja chciałam zobaczyć, czy ten przewodnik lepszy będzie. A, tu widzę, że mam porównanie. Ale nie, no ostatecznie chyba wydaje się być lepszym. To weźmiemy sobie i mamy modyfikacje jeszcze do wyboru. Wybierz lufa, luneta, magazynek. Dobra, weźmiemy sobie lufę może. Modyfikacje, drugie. Luneta, celność, pojemność magazynka. Tak samo, to niech będzie takie coś. Pistolet bym sobie chciała zatrzymać. Trapper? Czy on jest lepszy? Średnio na jeża bym powiedział. Tak, jeszcze jest cięższy, to już olać. O, mogę w ten sposób jeszcze. Waga! Też mamy wagę. W końcu mamy udźwig. No dobra. Szkielet. Obrażenia penetrujące. Pojemność magazynka. Celność. Weźmiemy sobie szkielet i jeszcze drugie. Luneta czy magazynek? Nie no. W sumie nie wiem. Może lunetę sobie weźmiemy. No. Myślę, że to będzie lepsze jakoś. Mociumpanie. Patrzcie na wagę tutaj. Niesamowitą. Niesamowite! Przepraszam, nie niesamowitę. Bo Jezus Maria, będę się denerwowała sama. Kondensatory tarcz, krój, amunicja, zestaw podkręcający. Nie, pasuje mi to, co mam de facto. Pancerz widzę, że mogę coś tu sobie stworzyć. Hełm inicjatywa. Hełm BGB. Premia do punktów doświadczenia, a tutaj premia do maksymalnej amunicji i minus 10 wagi broni. Może ten BGB sobie weźmiemy, wyposaż wobec tego. Tutaj pancerz. Premia do punktu doświadczenia, tutaj też. Premia do punktu doświadczenia plus obrażenia broni, a tutaj maksimum amunicji, ceny sprzedaży i waga broni. Nie, weźmiemy sobie to. BGP póki co cały czas wyposażam. Aha, nie mam tutaj nic do wybrania z tego, co widzę. No dobra, w takim razie potwierdź wyposażenie. Mamy coś innego. Ja bym chciała jeszcze porozmawiać tutaj z ludźmi. Mamy Kallo, możliwość pogadania z pilotem.
Glad you stopped by. You'll pardon me if I keep an eye on our vector?
That's probably smart.
Nothing like being on the bridge of your very own ship, is there?
I could stand here and drink in that view all day.
When I was test piloting the ship back home, I often did. Of course, it took a whole team to build the Tempest. I was the only one to come to Helios, though.
Why did you?
What can I say? We poured our hearts into a ship that wouldn't realize her potential until Andromeda. I could have stood on the shore and waved goodbye, or took the leap to see how it all turned out.
I get it, like leaving a good story half-finished.
The team liked that one of us was going. It felt right after all we went through. I remember Serena debugging line 2281 over and over, chewing that green pencil. Tion and O'Connell arguing equations, tapping on the console, 3 drips of coffee on the corner.
You remember all that?
Oh, yes. Solarians have photographic memories, and apparently mine's unusually sharp. Like my past is still happening. Though I suppose with the Solarian arc missing, you might not get many chances to compare.
Did you hear anything about the Ark back on the Nexus?
Not a peep. Isn't that strange? You'd think there'd be something. Not that I dislike your company, but it's lonely without other Solarians.
To jest prawda.
Don't sweat it. We'll bring the Solarians home.
Of course we will. I just have to be patient, that's all. I should get back to it, but thank you. I was afraid the Tempest would be mothballed after we lost your father.
Nie.
We built her for this. She deserves to be in a Pathfinder's hands. Please, come by any time.
Powiedział, żebym do niego przychodziła w każdej chwili. Dobra, pogadamy sobie
What
jeszcze?
can I do for you?
Bo chciałabym właśnie coś pogadać z nim. Historie związane z Tempestem. Chcę cię
If you
poznać,
helped to
człowieku.
build the Tempest, you must know plenty about her.
Just about everything. By memory. It was quite the effort to get her working. The initiative needed absolutely up-to-date technology, which we all had to coordinate, and some of it was rather tricky to acquire.
Acquire?
Buy. Legally and above board, of course. Yes. Sadly, the other Pathfinder vessels were lost when the Scourge hit the Nexus. The Tempest is truly unique.
Coś jeszcze powiesz?
Tell me something else about the ship.
Her engine's based on the Ark's Odyssey drive, which got us through dark space. The core takes the static electricity it generates and stores it in capacitors. We basically make our own power supply.
Fajnie.
It took Serena and Tion weeks to get it working on a smaller ship. And a few electrical shocks.
Ouch.
Tell me something else about the ship.
Our aerospace engineer was Tianada Vasmore, a Quarian fellow, and absolutely fearless. Once, some Omega scrap dealer pulled the "we don't sell to Quarians" nonsense. Tion found a workaround.
What did he do?
He glued a memory foam to his environmental suit, then, during the negotiations, leaned against the drive core he wanted, very casual. It made a perfect mold of the components, and the scrap dealer was none the wiser.
No ładnie.
Tell me something else about the ship.
The glass on board? It's actually a clear oxide and nanofiber compound. It bends rather than shattering.
O, to dobrze.
How tough is it? We're only an arm's length away from hard vacuum.
Our testing involved 3 drunk Krogan with sledgehammers and a
Oż
C6
ty w
battering
mordę.
ram. It's sturdy.
Okej, wierzę ci.
Tell me something else about the ship.
O'Connell, our systems designer, was running a power distribution model, how power moves through the ship. But he forgot to lock his terminal and we, added a few embellishments. For 2 days, poor O'Connell was convinced that turning on all the bathroom lights would overload the engine core.
Serio?
Tell me something else about the ship.
I'm all out of stories for now. Sorry. You'll have to make some new ones.
No dobrze.
You know, I haven't actually met many Solarians.
Careful. Depending who you ask, we're conniving spies, genius researchers, or meddling scientists. We have to pack a lot of living into 40-odd years. Everything gets accelerated. Lines blur. I just hope we don't repeat our old mistakes out here.
No dobra, w takim razie idę
I'll let
sobie.
you concentrate.
You know where I'll be.
Bardzo sympatyczny, przyznam bez bicia, że kojarzy mi się, że Kalo akurat lubiłam całkiem, jak za pierwszym razem grałam. Terminal pocztowy tutaj jest. Rekonstrukcja twarzy. Lexi, Ryder, zakończyłam analizę twoich obrażeń z Habitatu 7 odniesionych na skutek obu upadków i uszkodzeń twarzy wywołanych pęknięciem hełmu. Drobne pęknięcia podpowierzchniowe ładnie się goją. Jeśli chcesz nadzorować proces leczenia, w ambulatorium na Tempeście zainstalowano stanowisko rekonstrukcji twarzy. Badanie niebezpiecznych terenów wiąże się z określonymi zagrożeniami. Kalo twierdzi, że stanowisko to napędza przestarzały Xenon. To chyba jeden z jego żarcików, Lexi. Dobra, zarchiwizuję to może w takim razie. Escape. Żeby mi po prostu nie zaśmiecało. Suvi.
Ah, Pathfinder. It's so wonderful to meet you. I'm Dr. Suvi Anwar, assigned to act as liaison between your crew and the Nexus Science team.
Welcome to my team. I look forward to working with you.
Likewise. I can't wait to get to work. There hasn't been much to do so far, unfortunately. I've studied all the planetary scans. I've even had some hands-on experience with Helios soil samples. If you want, I'll send you my analysis on the native bacteria and microfauna. 60 pages.
No ładnie.
That's a lot of pages. About dirt.
Oh, you don't have to be kind. I know it's barely more than a summary. Anyway, I've waited months to get out there to see Helios. It's why I joined the initiative. The Milky Way was just a corner of a vast universe, a corner of a tiny corner. We're the ones who got to step out of that corner. It's incredible!
The first time I handled a Prothean artifact, I was hooked. It was so alien. I just knew there's more out there, and I want to see all of it.
I totally know what you mean.
So will you be joining us on missions?
Oh, that's funny. Me, out there, with the guns and the danger and everything.
Czy to jest flirt tutaj? Tak, to jest flirt. Nie chcesz tego zobaczyć. Zabawne.
But don't you want to experience everything firsthand? I know I'd want to.
Oh, absolutely. But I know my strengths. Trust me, I'm far more useful to you in the laboratory. Anyway, I've just received some instructions from the science team, and I really should go over them. Later then.
Jasne. Dobra, Suvi Anwar. Coś jeszcze pogadamy?
Pathfinder.
Tak, widzę, że możemy. Zespół naukowy w Nexusie, doświadczenie, plaga. No dobra.
I take it you work closely with the Nexus Science team?
I try to keep in contact with them. We discuss anything and everything we discover out here. After all, many brains are better than one, and Dr. Aridana is worth 2 or 3 at least. I work best when I have other people to bounce ideas off of.
Nie dziwię się.
I'm still fuzzy about how we managed to see Andromeda all the way from home.
It confused me too. I mean, the light lag would have made any data 2 million years out of date. So I asked Dr. Aridana, and she told me, well, it wasn't our tech that did it. It was the Geths.
You're kidding. Those killer robots we had in the Milky Way?
Those exact ones. The initiative obtained data from an array in deep space, a Geth construct. According to Aridana, the Geth rebuilt a mass relay and turned the approach corridor into an FTL sensor.
FTL sensor. So a faster-than-light telescope? They could
Wow.
survey Andromeda as it was?
No proszę.
Not exactly, but it cut down the lag by enough. We don't know why the Geth were interested in observing beyond the galaxy, though. Maybe we'll never know.
Szczerze? W sumie mnie to nie dziwi. Gety bardzo, myślę, mocno miały dla nich mocną wartość odkrycia. Wiedza miała dla nich wartość. Pamiętamy, że sam Legion nam powiedział, że oni badają komunikację między istotami organicznymi, bo chcą się uczyć po prostu, chcą rozumieć. Więc nie dziwię się, że to też jakby w to się włączyło badanie świata.
How did the Initiative even get its hands on Geth knowledge? They're isolationist and hostile.
I don't know, Ryder. Maybe I don't want to know.
Tam gadanie.
How long have you been awake in Helios?
Not as long as some. Missed the entire mess of the uprising, thank heaven. I was defrosted to replace an exiled member of the team. Not that there was much science to do for the longest time.
So what did you do?
Helped wherever I could. Made plans for science we would eventually do. Spent some time on an investigation, figuring out how long the food would last if the worst happened. Who's essential, who's not, who gets what. I don't want to do that again.
I'm so sorry. I can't believe you had to do that.
With no arcs, no pathfinders, we had to plan for the worst.
No tak, ale jednak faktycznie racjonalizowanie to taka zimna kalkulacja, o której też mówił Garus w części 3 Mass Effecta. Zimna kalkulacja, no jednak jakby jest potrzebna, ale jednocześnie ciężka.
What do you know about the Scourge?
We established that it's artificial. Someone put it there. Or they did something that caused its creation. We don't know why. That's still a mystery.
I should get back to things.
Sounds good?
Okej. Dobra, myślę, że z nimi tylko pogadam, nie będę akurat biegać za wszystkimi, chociaż z drugiej strony powinnam. Nie wiem, trochę mi się nie chce, przyznaję, bez picia. Ale dobra, powiedzmy, że pójdziemy sobie do ludzi.
Hey, can you drop by the biolab?
O, widzę, że się przestawili, zdaje się. W sensie widzę. Z tego co rozumiem, to się przestawili. Misje grup uderzeniowych może sobie sprawdzimy, bo myślę, że są jakieś nowe. Raport. Okej, sukcesik. Raport. Sukces, super. Tutaj też? Tak, dobrze. Operacja pod fałszywą flagą. Misja Apex. Wyślij grupę uderzeniową. Moja najmniejsza ma 88% delta jakaś. Nawet cholera jasna, nie pamiętam. Aktualnie zwerbowane 4/6. Czyli co, mogę jeszcze zwerbować jakąś grupę? Prawdopodobnie. Opóźnij coś tam. Zacznij misję. Dobra, wezmę tych trochę słabszych puszczę, bo właśnie tutaj jest jakieś srebrne. Tak? I jeszcze w ogóle jest złote. Zakłócaj zaopatrzenie wroga. Zobaczmy, co my tu mamy. Grupy uderzeniowe. Ta lista aktywnych grup uderzeniowych. Wybierz grupę za pomocą spacja, żeby dodać wyposażenie specjalne. Rozwiąż grupę za pomocą V, jeśli chcesz zrobić miejsce dla nowej grupy. Im więcej grup uderzeniowych masz do dyspozycji, tym więcej misji naraz można wykonywać. Wybierz opcję Zweruj grupę, żeby sformować nową grupę uderzeniową. Grupy uderzeniowe zyskują pozytywne lub negatywne cechy w zależności od tego, czy misja się udała. Okej. Doświadczony weteran. Specjalizacja. Cechy negatywny brak. Cechy wyposażenia. Widzę właśnie wyposażyć grupę. Strzykawki z adrenaliną. Skuteczność. Ładunki do wysadzenia drzwi. Skuteczność 4/10. Pojazd szybkiego reagowania. Skuteczność. Widzę właśnie, że zostaje dodawane. 20. 8, 30. Wymagany poziom grupy większy. To też. To w ogóle. Skuteczność 10. Zdobyty sprzęt porzuconych. Skuteczność 12, 14. Zestaw do walki elektronicznej. Skuteczność 16, 18. Dobra, to damy im 18 chyba. Aha, nie mogę kupić przedmiotów, tak? 10 środków misji, a ja mam 120, tak? No dobra, to damy w takim razie chyba noktowizję, co nie? Albo noktowizję drugą. Tak, noktowizję drugą damy. Kup przedmiot wobec tego. I macie. Zwerbuj grupę. Aha, nie mam środków misji. No spoko, akceptuję to. W takim razie chyba idziemy sobie badać, gdzie co jest. Tym razem, bo w sumie właśnie przed odlotem to nie miało większego sensu, a teraz jesteśmy już po odlocie, więc możemy sobie, jak powiedziałam, obadać coś. Tutaj chyba właśnie Kora urzęduje.
Clean air, plants, helps me think. Something on your mind? Maybe. What the hell was that? I know that look. It's just my biotics reacting to all this. I don't normally lose it like that. A huntress should have better control. Huntress? Another term for an Asari commando. I was one, before the initiative. Some things stick though, like losing the old man. How does a human soldier get to serve with Asari? Prove your biotics can rip an APC apart, and people get nervous. Funny that. The Alliance found me a cross-species military initiative in a hurry. Sent me to Thessia to serve with a Huntress unit. One of the few places where my powers were welcomed. Your father made another one. You were his second in command. Were you friends too? He was more a mentor than a friend. Prickly old bastard. But I respected that. People treat geniuses like they're made of cut glass. I didn't care how smart he was. I think he liked someone not caring. There's a lot of loss going around. Dad, the Golden Worlds. A friend and mentor who trained you to be a Pathfinder. I said I wouldn't get in the way. And I meant it. But I prepped for years as your father's second. Then he chooses you.
Nie no, może się czuć trochę gorzko.
The hell was he thinking? Is this going to be a problem, Cora? I don't want a rival. Just answers.
A to się nie dziwię.
It's done. Best I can do now is be your second. Keep your father's mission alive. Then maybe we'll all get what we came out here for.
Co my tu mamy? Mamy flircik jakiś, ale nie chcę z nią flirtować. Po co przyleciałaś? Nie będzie łatwo.
Even if we get there, there's a mountain of hard work ahead. Working hard was never my problem. Biotics like this. Thinking like an Asari huntress. I never had a place. Best I could be was a useful freak. The initiative was meant to be different. Will be different if this mission succeeds. So I'm seeing it through. It's quiet in here. I can keep the plants watered while I work. First job, see if there's any news on the Asari Ark. If they made it, we could use some Asari expertise. If you want to talk, I'll be here.
No dobra, z tego co rozumiem, Kora jest właśnie, w sensie Korze bliska jest właśnie Arka Asari, czyli właśnie będzie jej raczej na niej zależeć. Czy ja mogę sam porozmawiać? Mogę, okej. Chociaż się nie wyświetlało.
Hi there.
What did you do while you were part of the Asari military?
4 years in a commando unit called Talane's Daughters. Part of the Council's cross-species military integration initiative. Your time defending Silva's expedition was probably more important. But we did good work. Peacekeeping is a full-time job, even in Asari space.
What was your commando unit like?
Janae and I were the youngsters. Tethys was our old lady sniper. Kalia patched us up, and Valenza prayed between firefights. Our CO, Nasira, led us all over the Athena Nebula and beyond. A huntress's work is never done.
Who'd pick a fight with the most powerful species in the galaxy?
Themselves, usually. Terrorists, cults, rogue Ardat Yakshi, people demanding a withdrawal from the Citadel. The Asari were spacefaring when our Roman Empire was new. Didn't fix all their problems. Sometimes you need commandos for that.
You were in the Alliance before you became a huntress, right? What made you join up?
My biotics. I was still living on my parents' cargo freighter when they manifested. Untrained biotic power on a starship means accidents. But we couldn't afford a tutor. The Alliance had implants, the training, everything. Old history now. Your turn. Remind me why you came to Andromeda.
The Prothean digs woke us up to how much we don't know, and to what humanity's next leap might be. Then Dad's career collapsed. His AI research made him too toxic.
I heard. Must have changed everything for your family.
I wanted to find worlds and secrets no one had ever seen, and Scott was itching for adventure. So, Andromeda.
None of you writers ever think small, do you? Did you
come
Prawdopodobnie.
out here with anyone? Maybe someone you served with?
I had my fun on shore leave. Nothing serious, though. Asari huntresses figure things out, but I was there for soldiering, not romance.
I was just wondering.
Careful. One day I might be this nosy about your personal life.
Nie mam nic przeciwko. W sumie.
After 4 years with Asari commandos, he must have some great war stories.
Nasira assassinated a Krogan warlord with a pack of playing cards once.
Serio?
A pack of cards?
Choking hazard, apparently.
O Jezus Maria, naprawdę?
Any more commando war stories?
Always liked Janae. She was only 200, and with me around, she wasn't the kid anymore. She was a biotic protege. I once saw her yank an AA gun right off its housing. Crushed a gang of slavers with it.
Ouch.
They didn't feel it for long.
No, to jest
Janae
prawda.
was a good friend.
Raczej szybka śmierć.
Maybe she still is back there. Won't be a kid now, though.
Any more commando war stories?
Not just now. I'll try to remember a good one.
No dobra, w takim razie do widzenia.
See you later, Cora.
I'll be here.
Tak, do kogo ja się jeszcze mogę udać? Nie w tą stronę, bo będę wbiegała w ścianę. Czy ktoś jest tutaj na górze? Prawdopodobnie nie. Ale i tak się myślę, opłaca sprawdzić. Mamy ten cały Witkon. Czy mogę z kimś teraz pogadać? Nie mogę. No to smutno mi, ale przeżyję. Wobec tego udajemy się tutaj. Otwierać! No. Mogę iść na pewno do Gila. Czy Gila? Jesteś w zbrojowni? Fajnie. Ale ja nie do ciebie na chwilę obecną.
Pathfinder, making the rounds. Slumming it, huh? Want to see how the riffraff are making out?
Hey, this is the most important part of the ship.
Whoa, don't tell me they put someone smart in charge for a change. I am at your command.
Just want to see how things are going with the ship.
I can coax more out of this baby than some might think, but we shouldn't go too far or push too hard between Nexus stops. For now. It just feels good to be stretching our wings, you know? Locked and idle too long, you start to drift. People, same as ships. Stuck on the Nexus, gotta say, I was regretting joining the initiative.
Ouch.
Seems like life back there was pretty bleak.
Not gonna lie, it sucked. I tend to live the way I work. Kind of feel it, do it. Not a lot of close ties, no real sense of purpose. Figured maybe I'd find my true calling in Andromeda. Then I got here and oops, I just made a decision there's no turning back from.
No
I was
jasne.
going nuts on that station. You can't know how jazzed I was when you showed up.
Potrafię więcej niż tylko pojawiać się, o mój Boże.
You mean how jazzed you were that a Pathfinder showed up?
Tomato, potato. You just keep pointing this ship wherever you want it to go, and I'll make sure she can get there. Deal?
Deal.
No dobra. W takim razie, a mogę coś jeszcze z tobą pogadać?
Long time no chat. What's up?
Seems like we have a good group here.
Well, Vetra and Suvi are my girls. Get along well. Lots of mutual respect. As far as your Hyperion peeps go, the doc's kinda nosy. Liam's good for a laugh or two. Cora, she's a bit by the book for me.
By the book keeps us alive.
Hey, variety's the spice of life, right? Different strokes makes for healthy debate.
What about Kello?
He's a pilot.
Which means
He flies the ship.
we're leaving it at that then?
Does a Pathfinder know what to do with a dead end?
Aha. Nie mówcie nic złego, bo jeszcze kurczę odwali bunt na pokładzie i nas nigdzie nie zabierze.
I hear we have you to thank for getting the Tempest space ready so quickly?
Vetra brings her impossible feats to me. I was itching to get this particular call. Capital R ready. Don't tell her, but the truth is, I fudge reports to come in early, then bust ass in secret to make up for it. Expands the guild legend. Plus, I convey calm and assurance, and the whole team relaxes, which helps them do their jobs better.
Jasne.
What's your social circle like?
I'm good for a laugh, so I know lots of people, but I don't let too many in. My one true friend is stationed on the Nexus. She's the only piece of the Milky Way I brought with me. The more you and I get to know each other, the more you'll probably hear about her.
How tough has it been on the Nexus all these months?
Have you ever eaten overcooked space cow tongue?
O Jezus Maria.
Can't say I have.
Well, let me tell you, it's tough. Wondering if you're gonna die from a critical malfunction, or maybe starvation, imagining which would be worse. But hey, you could always take a break from the fear and boredom to dwell on being a part of the biggest failure in galactic history. Maybe even
Jezusie.
participate in a revolt.
What was your take on that?
I didn't place any bets, if that's what you're asking. Truth is, I don't think anyone made out particularly well. Whatever side you're on, you die a little when your brother, your teammate, becomes an enemy. We traveled all this way, all hope and wonder, and we end up fighting with each other over scraps. It's sad.
Prawda.
Good talking to you, Gil.
Anytime.
Dobra, wobec tego idziemy na dalszy obchód. Idziemy na dalszy obchód. Tu jest winda, to możemy w sumie sobie zjechać. A co? Nie mogę, widzę, się ruszać, jak winda się porusza. No spoko. Co ja chciałam jeszcze powiedzieć? Bo coś jeszcze chciałam powiedzieć, tylko cholera jasna co?
Maybe they could use you on comms. The radio or help Cash with cleanup.
Coś chciałam powiedzieć, ale nie pamiętam co. No cóż, w takim razie do Wetry.
Oh, hey, Pathfinder.
The Pathfinder's there? Let me say hi.
Fine, but don't embarrass me. Ryder, this is Sid, my sister. Sid, Ryder.
Hope I'm not interrupting something important.
Not at all. We were just finishing up.
Wait, Ryder, I just wanted to know if...
So I know it feels like I just jumped aboard your ship without explanation.
Sorry, patrz na mikrofon.
Now's as good a time as any.
I know that I can be of use here. I know everyone on the crew, even the actuators Gil prefers for the ship. Better, I know how to get my hands on them. With me around, your crew's going to be at their best. We've been failing for months, Ryder. Now that we have you, we have a chance out here.
Szczerze mówiąc, chciałabym zobaczyć.
Wow, that's some laser focus.
Yeah? Was it too much? Some people get intimidated.
I'm not just some people. I really like the intensity.
That's good. It's nice to feel appreciated. I should track down a lead for Gil's actuators. Back channels, you know. We'll chat later?
Jasne. Z tym, że ja mówię teraz, więc pogadaj ze mną. Netrawyks, dokładnie.
Need something? Need something done?
Strasznie wysoka jesteś, moja droga.
You were on the Nexus when the revolt happened?
When you promise people golden worlds and all they get are wastelands and a death cloud, they riot. Some wanted to go home, some demanded answers, and a couple just wanted to stir shit up.
And you?
Some days I wondered if the exiles had a point. Maybe we were conned into coming here. But why would the initiative go to all this trouble just to screw us over? Thing about conning people, you always know something they don't, and that's why the con works. And if I'm going to pick a side, I'm picking the liars.
Okej.
You talked about your back channels. What did you mean?
We brought a lot from home. Some of it marked initiative, some of it in personal caches. Most things you want, someone's got. You just have to figure out who, and what they're willing to take in exchange.
It can't be that simple.
Oh, but it is. Most things are simple once you know the trick to them.
Okej.
How did you hear of the Andromeda Initiative?
Short answer, Cash. She was looking for some experimental ship mods, and I knew how to track them down. I thought it was a one-time deal, but she came back. Once, twice. Eventually I figured out something was going on, something big with creds behind it. I asked and she told me about the initiative. New galaxy, new home. Couldn't pass that up.
You're pretty familiar with the ship.
I made sure the technicians had what they needed to keep the Tempest ready and waiting. Leadership wanted to strip her for parts, but I kept saying, a Pathfinder's gonna show up. I like being right.
Nie dziwię się.
You probably have work to do. We can chat later.
You know where to find me.
Jasne. Dobra, jestem ciekawa, czy uda mi się też porozmawiać jeszcze z Liamem, bo chyba tylko on nam został do pogadania, oprócz jeszcze Lexi, ale to tam, nie wiem, czy właśnie się uda ze wszystkimi pogadać. To jest dobre pytanie. To ta kanapa, którą przesuwasz?
Pathfinder,
Tak,
help me with
chyba
something.
tak.
I know, not exactly standard. Gotta make the space comfortable. Plus, the fabric diffuses the charge from an overclocked Omni blade. Not giving up a 6% boost, right?
Someone brought this to Andromeda?
It was new when we left. It's been a hard year. So,
Okej.
finally time for that beer? And after 2 years and a dozen suspensions, I took a lateral promotion out of the force. Being a cop just didn't fit. But crisis response? Digging people out of trouble? That worked. I bet Hustle followed you into a few peace actions. Think about your alliance days much?
Co to z mora?
Tell me about your group.
Heavy urban search terrain 1? Yeah. Earth's contribution to a multi-species disaster response unit.
Aha, okej. Z mora.
HUST-1, but Hustle looks much better on the patch.
No, też prawda.
All civilians, retired vets, or shits like me. I was fiercely bearded.
Co się stało z tą brodą? Dlaczego ją
Tastes
zgoliłeś?
bad thinking about those days.
I wanted exploration, to chase the cutting edge of Prothean research. I thought I'd found my calling. Seems like a long time ago.
600 years, give or take. So, Pathfinder. Why Andromeda?
That blunt, huh?
That blunt.
Dla takiego towarzystwa.
I'm looking for moments like this with people like you.
You don't know me yet.
Jeszcze. To dobre słowo.
Something far from home. I get it.
Back at you, Costa. Why do you come?
I want to say I'm running from my past, but really running from myself. That'd be a great story. But it's bullshit. I had family, friends, a good enough job, nothing was wrong. I just heard about the initiative and I believed in it. I believed in a new beginning. Still do. I have to. We're in it.
W sensie, wiecie co, z drugiej strony myślę, że zdarzały się przypadki, że po prostu usłyszeli inicjatywę i takie okej. Może niektórzy żałują tej decyzji, może nie, ale no, jest to właśnie jakby rozdroże, z którego się nie da już zawrócić.
If it all goes wrong, it could feel like we left for no reason.
I know why I'm here. A bad start can't change that. I won't let it. In crisis response, I'd focus on essentials. That's you and this team. Pathfinder leads to planets, leads to people. You've got your part covered. You've got this. I'll do my damnedest to help with the rest.
No dobra, skoro tak mówisz. No dobra, w takim razie mamy kolegę. Ta kanapa jest po prostu prześwietna. Motyw tej kanapy.
Pathfinder?
We barely covered how you joined. Tell me something about yourself.
Alright. I was a bad student, piss poor cop, great responder. Had a good life, but it all been done. I wasn't looking to start over. I wanted to start big.
You were a cop, then crisis response? Couldn't have been long in either.
Didn't have the patience for law, so I figured enforcement. Dad knew it didn't fit before I did. But it got me into hustle. They mostly take vets and retired service. Best years of my life.
You found your place. Not everyone gets that.
I knew it. Glad for it every day. And that led me here.
Tell me about your family.
I miss the hell out of them. Some nights you just cry, right? That's the thing everyone does. Mom Joelle, Dad Calvin. Both lawyers. Met on the Citadel, settled on Earth. No brothers or sisters. That might have been too much to leave. It was traditional. How about you?
Traditional is a weird term for family. Like normal. Who's that describe?
I suppose you're right. I sure didn't keep to tradition. I said goodbye to my mom and dad and got on a ship to Andromeda.
No tak.
We'll talk later.
My jednak całą rodziną się zabraliśmy. No, w pewnym sensie. Kurka wodna. Nie chciałam z nim jeszcze raz gadać.
Yeah, right.
Miniemy. I do widzenia. Dobra. I teraz zakończymy odcinek. Pogadamy sobie z Lexi jeszcze w następnym odcinku. A póki co, jak powiedziałam, kończymy. Tak więc dziękuję wam bardzo serdecznie za oglądanie. Mam nadzieję, że odcinek ten wam się podobał i że będziecie też oglądali odcinki następne. Zostawcie łapkę w górę, komentarz, bądź zasubskrybujcie kanał. Będzie mi niezmiernie miło i do usłyszenia, mam nadzieję, następnym razem. Cześć!